Welcome to the channel. My name is Lee, and today we are doing a review of the Pilot Penmanship. This review is the second edition of my affordable fountain pens review series, and I am really excited to get into this pen. It looks pretty interesting. The last one I reviewed was the Zebra V301, and I really enjoyed that pen, and this one I am really excited to try. So, excuse my voice. I started a new job. I've been outside a lot. There's a small chance I'm getting sick. I don't know for sure. Um, but yeah, that's why I sound like this. And I hope that's okay with you guys. My new job has been really, really demanding and taxing. So if this video, I'm going to have to film in a couple parts. So if it's a little bit more choppy than my usual videos, that's why. If you would like to own this pen, I will add a link in the description of this video. Or if you are watching this video within um, the time frame of this giveaway, you can try to win it. All you have to do is comment on every video within the series and make sure you're subscribed to my channel. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or comments about the pen or anything that you see in this video or about the giveaway, please leave them in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and like it. And also, if you would like to see more of my videos in the future, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well. I do upload, or I try to upload every Wednesday. So, uh, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the grit of this review. I'm going to start off by doing a quick visual overview of the pen. I will do a writing test where I use the pen to write in my journal, and I will finish the review with a drawing so that I can get an idea of how this pen handles from that perspective. So, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. So, here we have the Pilot Penmanship. Obviously, it's a Pilot pen. It retails for about $10. This is the most expensive pen in the Jetpacks pen set. And it's a pretty unique looking pen. It doesn't have uh, a cap clip, and the cap is this really strange short shape, um, which I have mixed feelings about. It does have little tabs to help keep it from rolling around. Um, Personally, I feel like I could potentially lose this pen, this cap, but it does post, so um, maybe that will kind of make up for it. It's got these little finger notches, kind of similar to the Lamy Safari, but it's a bit more of a like tapered out and in shape. Um, in the grip of the pen, it's a plastic feed and a steel nib. It does come with an ink cartridge, which I am going to be saving this for the giveaway. And instead, I'm going to use this, which I think this is actually also a Pilot. It's also a Pilot ink cartridge. And so I'm just going to stick this in here. And as soon as the nib floods with ink, then we'll be ready to write. I can already tell just doing these scratch motions that the nib is pretty stiff. It's not very flexible at all. So if you are a heavy-handed writer, this is going to give you, some stability when you're writing. I know when I use nibs that are like not meant to be bent, I tend to bend them if they are at all bendable. But this one feels pretty sturdy. All right, so we have some writing ability happening here. So that's fun. Feels pretty good on first impression. Feels pretty natural to write with. Yeah, so far, no complaints as from a first impression standpoint. All right, so it is the next day. I finished my story, and our next test on the pen is the drawing test. So this is where I will read you guys my little story that I made. I do want to give a quick disclaimer that this little story, it's a continuation of the one from the last video where I talk about getting my cast off. There is some maybe slightly graphic descriptions in this story. So if you're queasy, go ahead and jump to the end of the story. I will leave a timestamp for that in the description. Oh yeah, I was supposed to tell you about the writing experience with this. It was really great. I It's a very fine nib, probably the finest nib of any pen that I've used so far. And the nib feel was very stiff. And um, yeah, I'll show you what the writing actually looked like. So it's pretty thin line there compared to the one I did last week. You see a pretty big difference. Story number 5, The Time I Got My Cast Off. When I was 13, I broke my wrist. It was a clean break and took about 3 months to heal enough to remove the cast. While my arm was healing, I had to go on with life, going to school, writing, the usual. Sadly, my broken wrist was on my right hand, so I had to figure out how to take notes and write essays and type with only my left hand. I remember my teacher helping me to take notes at first, but eventually I got fed up with it, feeling useless, and started using my broken arm to write. It was fine. On the day I got my cast off, I felt nervous and excited, but there were 2 items of note which very clearly stick out in my mind. I remember being taken into a big room with a lot of mobile beds in it and left in there alone to wait. At some point, another patient was brought into the room. He had a leg injury with a brace all around his leg. The brace seemed to be held in place by metal rods sticking out of the man's leg. I felt very strange to be in the room as 2 nurses came in to help brace the man, and the doctor proceeded to twist the rods in the man's leg. He winced in pain as I sat, horrified to be witnessing such a sight. When they were done, the doctor and nurses took the man out of the room, never acknowledging my presence directly. Truly, I was left flabbergasted as my doctor arrived with my father to remove the cast. It was simple enough to remove it. They used a vibrating saw which would not cut skin. As they pulled the cast off my arm, I was confronted with another ghastly sight. My arm was now very skinny, pale, covered with layers of dead skin and thick black arm hair. It felt strange to finally move my wrist. When I got home, I thoroughly washed my arm and marveled at how good it felt to finally feel the air on my arm. It was fun going back to school and getting to show off my hairy, pale arm. All the kids were excited and rallied around to see. And before long, the extra hair wore down and returned to a normal color. About 20 years later, I broke my other wrist. The end. Okay, guys, it's the next day again, and I just finished the drawing that I drew with the Pilot Penmanship fountain pen. I liked it for drawing. I didn't like it as much as the Zebra V301. The fine tip made for just such a thin line that it actually like picked up a lot of the fibers on this mixed media paper. I do think it would work really well on maybe some Bristol board or like drawing paper that's specifically designed for uh, pen and ink application. But on this mixed media paper, it didn't work super well. And I mean, you can still use it, obviously, um, but it was not as smooth of an experience as drawing on the same paper with the Zebra V301. So, would I recommend this pen? Yes, absolutely. In a general sense, definitely. It's pretty inexpensive. It is the most expensive pen in this series, coming out at $10 on jetpens.com. Um, but the writing experience was wonderful using this pen. And even though it wasn't the best using it for mixed media, that doesn't mean it's a bad pen. Just if you are going to be using it for drawing, for instance, if you are like a watercolorist or something, it might not be the best pen because if you're using it to pair with watercolor and you use it on paper like this, you're going to have to regularly stop to clean the fibers out of the tines on the pen nib. So, yeah, it's a pretty good pen. Uh, Definitely better for drawing. I think it lives up to its name, the Pilot Penmanship. Is it Pilot? Crap. Platinum? Is it Pilot or Platinum? Okay, it is Pilot Penmanship, so forgive me for the times that I used um, whatever else I said, platinum. So yeah, anyway, it's the Pilot Penmanship. I do think it is really comfortable to hold in the hand. It The way that it's shaped, I almost would, if you're like trying to learn how to use a fountain pen, I almost think this is better than the Lamy Safari because in addition to the two little notches up here, it also kind of like dips in on the bottom as well. So it just feels a bit more natural to hold, even more so than the Lamy Safari. And it's cheaper than the Lamy Safari too. So I would actually consider this a great substitute as a first fountain pen to the Lamy Safari because of the way these little notches in here are. So yeah, it's probably not the pen for me, but I would definitely recommend it if you're going to primarily be using it for writing. Okay, I wanted to just pop in one more time to clarify a little bit about who I think this pen is good for and who I think it is not good for, because it's not just a blanket writer versus artist type of thing. So I think if you are a writer, generally speaking, this pen is definitely for you if you're using it primarily for journaling, particularly if you write in cursive and if you have a very small handwriting. This pen is going to be really, really good for you. If you're learning how to write with a fountain pen and learning script, then this pen is going to be really great for you. Obviously, that's what this pen seems to have been designed for. For drawing purposes, if you are drawing on watercolor paper or mixed media paper, I don't necessarily recommend this pen. However, for technical drawing, like drafting architectural designs and things like that, where you're using more typical style of paper, like what's the same type of texture that you would use to write on, this is an amazing pen, and I think it would be really, really, really great for use in that purpose. Even pairing with other pens, like for instance, if I was using that Zebra V301 to do most of my drawing, I might switch to the Pilot penmanship to do some of the more fine details. So I hope that clarifies in case my last uh, summary didn't quite make sense. So that is my review of the Pilot Penmanship. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to win this pen and the drawing that I made in today's video, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to my channel, and leave your comments in the comment section down below, and make sure that you watch all of the videos in this series and like and comment in some way. It can be an emoji even if you want. But you do have to like and comment. Well, you do have to comment on every video in the series. So this is the second review, and we've got 2 more to go after this. All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, evening, or night, and I will see you next time. Bye.